The entertainment industry has long been a world of glitz and glamour, where dreams are made and stars are born. But beneath the surface of red carpets and sold-out arenas lies a darker reality, one that has remained hidden for far too long. The story of Justin Bieber and Diddy is not just about music or fame, it's about power, manipulation, and the devastating consequences of unchecked influence. For years, whispers circulated about the troubling dynamics between young artists and powerful figures in the industry, but few dared to speak out. Until now, Justin Bieber was just 13 years old when his life changed forever. His talent had already caught the attention of millions through YouTube, but it was his introduction to Usher that truly set him on the path to superstardom. What many didn't realize at the time was that this introduction came with a cost. Usher, who had once been a victim of Diddy's alleged abuse during his teenage years, played a pivotal role in bringing Bieber into Diddy's orbit. It was a cycle as old as Hollywood itself, one that involved grooming, exploitation, and psychological control over vulnerable young people. Diddy, whose name had become synonymous with success and influence in the music world, wasted no time asserting his authority over Bieber. Reports suggest that Bieber was subjected to inappropriate situations involving drugs, parties, and sexual encounters that were far beyond what any child should experience. These experiences reportedly led to substance abuse issues later in life, as Bieber struggled to cope with the emotional fallout of his early exposure to such a toxic environment. For years, Bieber remained silent about the darker aspects of his past, likely due to fear, shame, and the overwhelming pressure to maintain his image. However, as Diddy's legal troubles escalated, particularly following Cassie Ventura's groundbreaking lawsuit and the release of incriminating video footage, the walls began to close in on the music mogul. Cassie's bravery opened the floodgates for others to come forward, including individuals who claimed to have witnessed Diddy's abusive behavior firsthand. It was during this turbulent period that Justin Bieber made the decision to break his silence. Sources close to the singer revealed that he had been subpoenaed to testify in Diddy's upcoming trial, forcing him to confront the demons he had long buried. The stakes were incredibly high. Bieber knew that speaking out could not only destroy Diddy's career, but also implicate other powerful figures in the entertainment industry who had turned a blind eye to the abuse. According to leaked court documents and insider reports, Bieber possesses damning evidence against Diddy, including audio recordings and witness accounts that place him at the center of a vast network of exploitation. Some speculate that these tapes contain footage of minors being abused, potentially implicating other celebrities who attended Diddy's infamous white parties. If released, this evidence could trigger a chain reaction, leading to further lawsuits and criminal charges against some of the biggest names in Hollywood. As news of Bieber's involvement spread, the entertainment world was thrown into chaos. Fans and critics alike took to social media to express their shock and outrage, with many praising Bieber for his courage in coming forward. At the same time, questions arose about the role of Usher and other industry veterans who had facilitated Bieber's entry into Diddy's world. Had they known what was happening, did they turn a blind eye in exchange for power and prestige? The parallels between Bieber's story and Usher's own traumatic experiences became impossible to ignore. Usher, who had once been a victim of Diddy's alleged abuse, now faced scrutiny for his apparent complicity in perpetuating the cycle. In a recent interview, Usher admitted that he regretted introducing Bieber to Diddy, but maintained that he had no knowledge of the extent of the abuse at the time. Whether this defense will hold up in court remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team scrambled to contain the damage, filing motions to suppress evidence and challenge the validity of search warrants used to seize his belongings during raids on his properties. His attorneys argued that the government had presented a grossly distorted picture of reality, omitting key facts while emphasizing salacious details from unnamed sources. But with Cassie Ventura set to testify against him and Bieber poised to deliver the final blow, Diddy's chances of mounting a successful defense seemed increasingly slim. What made Bieber's potential testimony so powerful was not just the evidence he possessed, but the symbolic weight it carried. For years, Diddy had operated with impunity, using his wealth, influence, and connections to shield himself from accountability. Now one of the biggest stars in the world was ready to expose him for who he truly was, a predator who had manipulated and exploited vulnerable young people for decades. Bieber's decision to speak out marked a turning point in the case, signaling a broader cultural shift toward holding powerful men accountable for their actions. No longer would victims be silenced or ignored. No longer would predators be allowed to operate in the shadows. The Me Too movement had already begun to reshape the entertainment industry, but Bieber's involvement brought the issue into stark relief, forcing even the most cynical observers to acknowledge the depth of the problem. As the trial loomed, speculation reached a fever pitch. Would Bieber take the stand? Would he reveal the full extent of Diddy's crimes? And most importantly, would justice finally be served for the countless victims who had suffered in silence for so long? Justin Bieber's rep is breaking their silence on recent rumors regarding drug use. A rep for the singer, who shares a 6-month-old son Jack Blues Bieber with wife Hailey Bieber, is firing back at recent claims that Justin has been using hard drugs. His rep tells TMZ on February 23 that it's absolutely not true. His team adds that it's been a very transformative year for Justin as he ended several close friendships and business relationships that no longer served him. As Justin's 31st birthday approaches on March 1st, he's focused on his family and his music, not speculation about his health, which his rep calls exhausting and pitiful, and shows that despite the obvious truth, people are committed to keeping negative, salacious, harmful narratives alive. Minors have never been safe in this industry. During an interview with Apple TV, Justin started crying while talking about how he was abused and taken advantage of. Justin's parents, his mentors, and even his friends, all left him alone. Justin mentioned how he wanted to protect Billie Eilish, and how he had noticed that Billie might be in danger. This is what Usher should have done instead of continuing the cycle of abuse that Diddy started. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry, and not knowing where to turn, Bieber said. Everyone you know telling me they love me, and just turn their back on you in a second. It was clear that Bieber had been deeply affected by his experiences, and the emotional toll continued to manifest in various ways. His struggles were evident to those around him, and fans couldn't help but notice the changes in his demeanor. Recent videos of Justin appearing spaced out at concerts and looking extremely thin had fueled concerns about his well-being. In one particularly distressing clip, Justin was even seen crying while Hailey comforted him. Terren Howard, a close observer of the situation, noted that both Bieber and Usher were dealing with trauma stemming from their shared experiences. I get it, Howard said. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. They can't get it out of their heads. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy, and that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. This insight shed light on the deeper psychological impact of the abuse, highlighting the long-term consequences for those who had been victimized. The entertainment industry, with its relentless demands and cutthroat nature, often exacerbated these issues, leaving victims to grapple with their pain in isolation. As the trial approached, the implications extended far beyond Diddy's fate. The entertainment industry itself stood on the brink of transformation. Could studios, labels, and agencies continue business as usual knowing that their darkest secrets might soon be exposed? Would fans demand greater transparency and ethical standards from their favorite artists and executives? And perhaps most importantly, would other victims feel empowered to come forward, knowing that their voices could make a difference? Justin Bieber's choice to testify against Diddy represented more than just a personal act of bravery. It was a moment of reckoning for an entire industry. By breaking his silence, he sent a clear message. The era of unchecked power and exploitation was coming to an end. The curtain had been pulled back, revealing the rot that lay beneath the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. In the days leading up to the trial, speculation ran rampant about what new revelations might emerge. Would Bieber confirm rumors about Diddy's alleged homosexual ring? Would he provide details about the drug-fueled orgies that had become synonymous with Diddy's name? And most disturbingly, would he reveal the identities of other celebrities who had participated in these activities? Whatever the outcome, one thing was certain: Justin Bieber had officially ended Diddy's career. The man who once ruled the music industry with an iron fist, now found himself facing the consequences of his actions. And as the world watched the trial unfold, it became clear that this was not just about one person's downfall. It was about justice, healing, and the hope that a new, more ethical era in entertainment was finally beginning.